So I'm Joseph Banks, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make double fudge brownies. The ingredients are going to be the Heinz Dunking double fudge brownies, 1/3 cup of water, 1/3 cup of oil, 1 egg, and some butter, and of course the oven. Now the first step to make these brownies, which is a delicious dessert in my opinion, is to preheat the oven 350 degrees because of this glass bowl right here. And then your next step would be to take this butter. You're going to spread it along the bowl so the brownie mix won't stick as it cooks. And this will be a great way so when you cut it, it'll be all clean and you wouldn't have to worry about crumbs or most of the brownies sticking when you cut it and put it on your plate when you're ready to serve and enjoy. So the point is to keep spreading the butter as long as it's going around and all over the bowl. And that would be enough right there. The whole thing is covered. You will want to cover the whole butter. You would like to take the butter and cover the whole bowl with it. The next step is to take this bowl and to take this mix, of course. Open it like so. And with this mix here, we're just going to pour that into the bowl. Of course, you know, the mix smells great, delicious, makes you really want the brownies even more. Can't wait to be done. It's actually fun making these. Then your next step is to take the 1/3 cup of water, because you know the powder is not going to be all to make the brownies. You're going to need a little moisten there. Then you're going to take 1/3 cup of oil, cooking oil, and you're going to pour that into the mix as well. And you can either pour it in one spot or pour it around. I usually pour it around. And then next up, you take your egg, crack, and like so, just put it in the mix. Then you know, you're just going to stir until it gets like more of a mix, like pancake mix. And as you see, it's all powdery, so you're just going to keep stirring there until it gets moist. As you can see a little bit, you can really tell when it gets darker and thicker. And as it gets thick, that's a good thing. But you don't want it to have it too thick because then your brownies are going to come up all bumpy and have air bubbles, which is not going to make it that good. Like, it will still be delicious because of the taste, but it won't be so good at all. And you just keep stirring. And you might want to make sure you get every part in there. I'm talking about the powder, so you don't leave any out sticking on the bowl. I just had one knot, you probably couldn't see it, but it's all good. And you just keep stirring. This usually takes like a minute or two. Time may vary. And then the next step is to pour it into this pan right here. This glass pan. You want to keep stirring as you're pouring it, just to make sure, to be careful so you won't make a mess, and to make sure you still have it all mixed well with the eggs and the oil and the water. And then you slowly just pour into the pan, all over the pan. There's no special way of putting it in here as long as you're covering the whole pan up over the butter that has melted already a little bit due to room temperature or whatever. And then you're just going to pour and guide it with a spoon to make sure it doesn't fall out onto the table or counter. and you want to spread it at the same time. In this case right here, due to the size, the mix is just pouring out and it's not really covering, so I'm going to have to cover the whole, I'm going to have to spread the mix all over the pan. See, there's still some extra in here, so you're going to just use the pan and scrape that out and drop it up here the best you can. Mind you, you're supposed to keep the bowl lean so it'll pour out and come out nice and smooth and well, because the mix is so thick. And then since, as you can see, the pan is not completely covered, you just spread the mix like so. And you want to make sure it's even out, because if you don't, then the brownies will come out lopsided, uneven. And at the same time, like I said earlier, you don't want it too thick because it will still come out with air bubbles. So that reason still comes in as well. It's a little thick over here. See, it's getting covered here. And since there's a lot of mixing that's thick, it still has to be evened out. It's not just going to stay when you just pour it in the pan and spread it out. You really have to even it out and make sure it's okay. You don't want to have one side with too much mix and the other side all flat. Then you're just not going to have a delicious dessert to even enjoy. So it's just about done here. Get some more on this side. Now, if you have any little extra in there, any extra mix in the bowl, you know, you can just pour some of that out too, or just scrape it out and just put it onto the bowl, into the pan like so. And then when that's done, you're still just going to spread and spread out even, just because that little bit of mix you came out is still on top and it's not even. So if you cook it, it'll just come out rocky or like a little nub or stud on top of your brownies as soon as they're completely cooked. And as it's still on the spoon, you might want to keep dabbing it onto the pan like so to continue spreading. And then this right here, it came in the package. This is just cream, extra fudge. You put that on top of your brownie, spread them. You can make a design or just put it on top like icing on top of a cake or birthday cake when your brownies are done cooking for extra flavor. That's why they call it double fudge. Now it takes a few minutes for this oven to preheat. Since it's gas, it should be faster. Now what you're going to do here is cook it. And since this is a 13 by 9 inch pan, a glass pan at that, you're going to let these cook in a 350 degree temperature for 30 to 35 minutes. Now of course once you're done, you know, you just put everything up, clean up, you know. It's not good to leave your stuff out when you're finished cooking, because of course, you know, messy, or when you open the door, flies is going to come in and just ruin your dessert. So take everything, put them up, and in 30 to 35 minutes, the brownies should be completed. And then you have your bowl with still in the mix. You can either rinse that out or just do like I do and get a little treat early. And that's how you make brownies by Joseph.